get back up again.
But if you think that was the end of Jamea Simmons' TV career, think again.
Hello, models.
We were about to uncover more promises and more problems.
So he's playing you this whole time?
Yes.
Start to finish?
Yes.
What does Jameas have to say about that?
That wasn't the case at all.
Trying to tell reality from fiction when Jameas speaks out. The crew and most of the cast had given up on Jamea Simmons, convinced by now that his reality show had been nothing but an elaborate set of lies.
People all over the planet still see that y'all didn't follow instructions.
So was that the end of Jamea Simmons Productions? What would he do next? Leave town? Get a real job?
Hello, models.
Not at all.
Welcome to the first judging for Jameas Model Reality.
Witness the spin-off series of the series that never was. Another reality show audition Jameas held after his first show fell apart.
Action.
Hey, America.
We obtained these videotapes from 2 more camera crews who haven't been paid. Though this time, despite his obvious lack of funds, Jameas had doubled the prize money.
One model will win up to $100,000.
But with no cash and no TV deal, this competition ended the same way, with another group of models and camera crews believing they'd been conned. And there's at least one more person Jamea Simmons fooled, at least for a little while.
I told him I didn't want to have sex with him. He tried to get on top of me, all that.
Jacqueline Christine Foster is a college student who says she's interested in modeling to help pay for school. She tried out for Jameas' reality show at that first nightclub audition, along with some of the other contestants we interviewed.
If there was a chance I could win $50,000, I could use $50,000.
After the audition, she says Jameas offered her a chance to make some money right away. A $2,000 modeling gig with clothing maker Juicy Couture. But first, she needed one of those so-called cosmetic exams.
And what was this cosmetic exam supposed to entail?
Before I went to Juicy Couture, I was supposed to get my skin checked out so that they'd be able to match the makeup. Yeah, that kind of made sense to me.
The night before the job, Jacqueline Christine drove 4 hours from Houston to San Antonio to stay at an apartment she was told had been rented for the filming of the show. She says she knew something was wrong when the accommodations turned out to be a dirty, empty flat with Jamea Simmons sleeping on an air mattress on the floor.
Once I got to the apartment, I already knew, like, this is foolishness, this is baloney, I cannot believe I'm here, I'm afraid.
Why didn't you just get the hell out of there?
Because I wanted to get paid in the morning, I wanted at least my gas money.
So he does the cosmetic exam that night?
Yes.
And how are you dressed at this point for the cosmetic exam?
I just have my bra and panties on, and that's it.
And you're laying there on the air mattress?
Yes.
Which is on the floor?
Which is on the floor.
In this dirty, nasty apartment?
Indeed.
And he's doing what to you for this quote-unquote cosmetic
exam? He's like kissing on my neck and like feeling my legs and stuff like that, and I'm just like laying there like, oh, just get off of me. Oh, heebie-jeebies.
Did he touch you inappropriately?
Yes. Yes, he tried to put his hands between my legs, and I kept my legs as tight as I could, and I just like laid there.
Did you ever say to Jameas, don't touch me?
Yes. Yes. I said, look, I'm not having sex with you.
And you were very clear.
I was very clear.
It was already the middle of the night, and against her better judgment, Jacqueline Christine says she stayed till morning so she could go with Jameas to that supposed modeling job. But the $2,000 gig turned out to be just a shopping trip to the local mall.
So after all this rigmarole, you end up at Juicy Couture.
Yes.
And it's just a store with nobody there.
A store.
So he's playing you this whole time.
Yes.
Start to finish.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, if I'm your father, you know, I am so mad at my daughter right now.
Jacqueline Christine says she left embarrassed and furious, but also determined to do something. Remember how some of the models said they were confused by how few people actually showed up for the taping? Well, that's in part because before the taping began, Jacqueline Christine got on MySpace and tried to warn any contestants she could find, telling them she thought Jameas and his show were a complete fraud.
I was like, I'm just trying to warn you, I'm not going to do it. I wouldn't do it if I were you.
The contestants who made it to the taping obviously never got the message.
Give me a limo treble.
And until we tracked her down, Jacqueline Christine says she had no idea the show ever taped at all.
You'll push yourself like no one else.
But if Jamea Simmons was really just a con artist, what was his angle? It didn't appear to be money.
What do you think this guy was really up to?
I feel like he wanted to feel powerful.
It was a power trip. It was a complete power trip.
The name of the show is Jameis Model Reality.
And by playing the part of a star, Jacqueline Christine is convinced Jameis is really just after something else.
It had to be that he was trying to sleep with people.
So you think this whole modeling show was a way for Jameis to try to have sex with young women and quite
guys.
possibly young men?
To be honest, that has to be it.
You ready?
We wanted to find Jamea Simmons and ask him about his career as a reality show producer. Was he just a wannabe TV mogul, or did he have some other motives for gathering young, attractive hopefuls? There was just one problem. Where was he? After dodging our questions,
Hey, Jameis, it's Chris Hansen.
Jameis finally agrees to talk.
Everything spiraled out of control, to say the very least.
When Reality Undercover
The
continued,
name of the show is Jameis Model Reality.
Jamea Simmons was all over the nearly 40 hours of videotape we'd obtained from unpaid camera crews who say they were ripped off by his so-called reality show.
3, 2, 1.
And this is what Jameis looked like back in 2005 when he shot yet another unfinished reality show
Is that good sound so I know what I'm doing?
with another camera crew that hasn't been paid. They say they've been looking for Jamea Simmons for years.
You guys are probably wondering what we're doing.
So where was he? We went to his last known address in Houston, but we're told he just moved out.
So that person moved out of apartment 166?
We also went looking online and found this posting on Jameis's MySpace page, a solicitation for new models. So we asked a Houston woman, Shelly Keys, to answer the ad for us, hoping it would lead to a meeting with Jameis.
Hey, how are you?
She got a call from someone who claimed to be Jameis's intern, but who sounded suspiciously like Jameis himself. And after many more phone calls, she was invited to meet with a group of young women in a hotel lobby. A Dateline producer went along carrying a hidden camera.
Nice to meet you.
The women were apparently looking for new recruits on behalf of Jameis, who they described as a supermodel turned successful reality show producer.
He's not as well known as coming out with the reality show.
That meeting led to an invitation to a party Jameis was having at this high-rise apartment building. So I went up and introduced myself and told Jameis I wanted to ask him some questions.
Okay, thanks.
He readily agreed to an interview, but excused himself for a moment and never came back.
Hey, Jameis, it's Chris Hansen. I'm down in the lobby.
The cell phone number we had for him was shut off the day after our brief encounter. And that's where our story ended the first time, with Jameis, the would-be television star, dodging his chance for a real network TV debut. But after our story aired in May of 2008, Jameis surprised us by emailing our producer and agreeing to meet me for a sit-down interview. He arrived in New York with his sister and with a woman he called his associate producer.
This is not the first time I've tried to interview you.
No.
We chatted for a moment.
Sure?
You said you'd be right back after going to the men's room,
Yes.
and you never came back.
Yes.
And why was that?
Well, because I had an active warrant for my arrest. You don't want to be on TV when you have a warrant.
As we'd reported, Jameis had 10 outstanding arrest warrants at the time of our broadcast. After the story aired, he pleaded guilty to the most serious charge, vehicle theft, and was out on bail awaiting sentencing at the time of our interview.